Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Hope you're well, thank you for joining me. Just on the way to the shop. Now, you look at the sky, it's a little bit murky, but hopefully it'll brighten up later. Well, I did a poll last night on the channel, and you can see it here. And I asked a question. I asked, have you ever heard of Ashby V White? 1703, and you can see from the poll a very large percentage of people have never heard of it. But looking at the comments underneath, when I asked the question, a lot of people suddenly went and found out. That's what I love to do with the channel. I love to promote thought. I love to encourage people to go and find out. Now, the very basic premise of Ashby versus White is the fact that an individual turned up to an election to vote and was refused. You know, you're not voting. I think the whole thing was a mix-up over the person's entitlement to vote in that election. What happened, of course, next, the individual sued and eventually won. And it actually went as far as the High Court, you know. And the whole judgment forms a very large part of the way we understand the way things happen today. And one of the things it does is protects an individual's right to turn up and cast a vote. And the effect of that judgment is still in force today. Now, when you look for Ashby versus White online, you will always find an abridged version of it or a heavily cut down version of it, because the facts contained within are very inconvenient to the establishment, the way they like things to be run. Well, I've got a full copy of the ruling. It's about 10 pages long. And because of the language at the time, it's very tricky to understand. It's all ye old English kind of thing and the way people communicated in that era. But what I did, I fed it into an AI engine and used that AI engine to pose certain scenarios. And one of the scenarios I posed was this whole idea of I do not consent. It's something that I've kind of looked at and discussed on the channel before, and many people have poo-pooed it, saying that, oh, it'll be a spoilt ballot. Well, as I've already said, when you turn up to a polling station, that judgment protects your right to vote I do not consent. They can't stop you, and if they can, you have the right to sue them. It's all there in black and white. Now, what would the effect of I do not consent have? Well, if you look at the voting turnout, millions of people, it'd be a very difficult thing to pull off, granted, because you need to convince millions of people to do it. But all of these votes would be taken in, they'd be registered. They might not necessarily be counted, knowing the way today's system works, but they would be registered in whatever fashion each county decided to. And if you think of the job of a returning officer, their job is to return an MP based on the number of votes that they've got in a constituency. So if everybody in a constituency voted I do not consent, which again Ashby versus White protects their ability to do this, then no MP in any constituency, or, well, let's get the term right, prospective member of parliament, will have any votes cast. Therefore, no MP returned. Therefore, no new government. You see? So what would happen then? You would have an incumbent from the last government scratching their head wondering what to do, maybe a new election would be called. You'd just do it again. And what it would do is create one hell of a constitutional crisis. So, anybody that poo-poos the idea of I do not consent, think about it a little harder. If anyone wants to get hold of a copy of that full ruling, drop me an email, contact@andygifford.online, and I'll quite happily send it to you. But anyway, let me know what you think in the comments. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the like button. Watch these videos. I look forward to talking to you soon. Toodaloo.